Hello, Janet, Greg, Matt, and Denise. We've talked recently about mentoring, about how we're going to have that program that's set up. That was Randy's piece that he did 2 weeks ago. Then last week, I basically talked about how a framework would be coming out, and that will be coming out, but it's primarily focused towards you and Randy. You'll be figuring out then how to work that and communicate it with your direct reports, but the mentoring starts at the top. So Randy's responsibility and whether that is done in a group call or whether he does it with each one of you one-to-one each week, that mentoring needs to take place. And then you will need to figure out how you're going to then mentor your direct reports, as I said. Now, one of the things as we put the framework together over the next few weeks so that you're ready to kick this off at the beginning of 2019, we'll go into some different ways that you can do that. But why this is important, and it's to set up the mentoring philosophy. English is a difficult language. The mentoring philosophy for Lone Star is so that it becomes a behavior. It's something that you guys do on a regular basis. Going back to my very first command in the Air Force, I was a lieutenant colonel and a 3-star general who ended up being a 4-star general, told me to write down the 3 things that I wanted to accomplish, the 3 most important things, write those down on my calendar 4 months out. And then he said, and I almost guarantee you that when you get to that 4-month point and you pull that up on your calendar, you will not have done any of those things. And it's not because you're not doing a great job. It's not because your squadron is not doing well, all of, the different things. It's because the day-to-day operations take over and because you haven't established a behavior towards those things that you want to get done. Well, one of those was to establish a mentoring program. So I had done some mentoring, but most of that mentoring was taking advantage of leadership opportunities to provide that mentoring instead of having an active program where you actually set the behavior for mentoring. And then that mentoring behavior is then passed on to the people that work in Lone Star. So that becomes the culture of the company. So that's one of the things that Randy has us focusing on is over time now is to actually establish the mentoring opportunities through these videos where there'll be topics for you to use to ask questions. Of course, that doesn't change opportunities that you have in the company for mentoring. But what we want to focus on and why talking about mentoring and this philosophy is so important is that most companies today, over 80% of people who call themselves a leader in a company are really managers in the company. And instead of mentoring and working to promote positive behavior that will lead to successful interactions, they are punishing through metrics. So if somebody doesn't get their quota, if somebody does something wrong, they punish versus looking for the things that they're doing right and reinforcing that through mentoring, through coaching. So that becomes the learned behavior. If you focus on the negative, all they're gonna think about is the negative. So we need to reinforce the positive. And the key way that you do that is through mentoring. And that's through a proactive mentoring program. And then again, using it every opportunity that you have, but changing that focus from negative or if they reach goals or those types of things, but reinforcing the positive behavior. So that's the focus. In the next few weeks, I'll be talking with each one of you individually about how you think it should work best for you. I know that Janet has more direct reports than Matt, so it may work that you have to do things a little bit differently. Randy may at times decide to do all 4 of you together, depending on what the topic is, and other times he may decide to do it individually. So there's a number of different ways to work this, but what's important is that you take ownership of the process and learn the mentoring behavior, and then you work that with the folks that work for you, and then that becomes the culture of the company. So look forward over the next few weeks. As I know we're heading into the holidays, but we'll get all this done so that you're ready to go in January for the mentoring piece. And so be looking for more information on that. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.